Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
And today we've got round 4, game 1 of our Fredericton Gamezilla Store Championships.
Two returning players here. We have Cory with his Falcon Keyan. So you want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, well, you would have seen him quite recently. He's got Keyan with fire control system, push the limit, the E1 title with Lando as a crewman, and a heavy laser cannon. And then he's got Han with the Falcon, Veterna Instincts, and the droid buddies.
All right. Lawrence, with his missile mayhem, has two Bandit Squadron pilots with homing missiles, Cracken with cluster missiles and Veterna Instincts, and Corran Horn with the R5P9 fire control systems and Veterna Instincts. So fairly solid on the pilot skill. Han's going to be going first just because he has really high pilot skill. But Keyan is going to have to figure out exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, because Lawrence still has Cracken and Corran going before Keyan, so this could be interesting.
So not only are we looking at two lists that have been fairly successful in our videos, but it's kind of an interesting pairing because just the heavy salvo that Lawrence has, the damage potential that Lawrence has, puts Cory in a bit of a tight spot.
Yeah, if he picks, depending on which ship that Lawrence picks, he can unload all amounts of hurt on it in the space of one turn. Especially with Corran being able to double tap if he needs to. So it should be interesting.
So Lawrence's deployment, we're just going to quickly go over that because we haven't yet. Lawrence's deployment all seem to be in the corner with the exception of Corran. As we've seen in previous videos, the unit of the Bandit squadrons works well together where Corran can fly off on his own. He doesn't have a lone wolf veteran EPT, but he doesn't need it. And Cory is split up his forces a little bit with two separate units with Han and Lando. It works well for Cory. He doesn't need them to have them together. But I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out for Cory because he kind of has set himself up in a place where he's not letting his opponent choose what targets, but he can go and focus fire one all at once before moving on to the Falcon.
Yeah, just preliminary look, he's getting dangerously close to feeding Keyan right into the jaws of those three headhunters.
Where am I going?
We'll see what happens with that.
Not only that, but it seems like Han is just leaving Lando to dry.
So yeah, and Lawrence is definitely he's sensing blood in the water. Looks like he's gunning right for Keyan.
Well, I think it's a bit of a smart move on Cory's part because, yeah, Keyan's expensive. Keyan can take a bit of damage, but he's not as resilient as the Falcon. But at the end game, you want the Falcon to dogfight with whatever's left. And unfortunately, those missiles, if Lawrence uses them on Keyan, you're not going to be able to use them on Lando.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be a choice. Do you try to just burn Keyan? Oh, there's an unfortunate Lando.
Yeah, that really hurts right away.
It does.
Relying on those getting evade tokens to sort of soak up the fire, not have to rely really heavily on the one defense dice, definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. So if Lawrence does not want to burn his missiles this turn, fair guess says Corran just comes in, double taps, and tries to do as much damage with the headhunters as he can.
That being said, Cory is still in a really good place to take out Cracken right away, eliminating that action economy.
Yeah.
I think the real gamble for Cory right now is what is Lawrence going to do with Corran Horn?
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like he's going to go after Keyan. Having that little bit of extra firepower getting thrown at Keyan's face, not what Keyan wants.
No.
He likes being stressed out, but I don't think he likes getting that kind of stress.
No, it's a good idea, that focus fire idea that we've been talking about throughout the course of of this event, it's good to see it being put into action.
Absolutely. On top of that, Corran has the unique ability to fire twice in a round, especially with fire control systems giving his second shot target lock. Right now, by separating his fleet, Cory has made it easier for Lawrence to decide, hey, I'm going to use Corran Horn's ability right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because Corran can double tap and then just
Booker
and 5 forward if he has to. Just break contact with Han.
So initial shots looks like one of the defense dice just didn't do enough.
So Cracken passing a target lock over to one of his headhunter buddies.
So there's Corran firing his shots, acquiring a target lock from the all-powerful fire control system.
So no damage caused, but still a target lock, so not the end of the world. It was a little unfortunate. Kraken had run into the back of one of his wingmen, so he's sitting there without any actions. Lawrence needs to roll at least one evade. Looks like he gets at least one of them. Oh, he gets both of them. Does he? No. Okay, he gets one.
He's just hanging in there.
I got excited. It's like, just shields. Ah, no.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Kraken is really good for having that kind of squad leader kind of ability. And you're not saying you're paying too much of a premium for that ability either. And pretty good high pilot skill. But he's really squishy. He's just on a squishy ship.
So here we go. We got the headhunter that had been assigned the target lock is burning his missiles.
Just to do as much damage as he possibly can right away.
Yeah, he wants to kill a ship as quick as possible. The other headhunter coming in. Looks like he isn't able to stick the damage.
And Corran's last shot, using his target lock, which will just refresh. 2 potentials. And he evades one.
Looks like he's out of shields now. So probably not as much damage as he was hoping for, but still, Keyan is almost.
He is almost out. Yeah. He's almost out, and he's actually not in a really good spot because he doesn't have advanced sensors, so he can't barrel roll into the optimal spot to do like a K-turn or whatever. And it looks like Lawrence is going to be attempting to block with some of his headhunters, getting in position to fire with the other ones. It's a very tricky spot for Keyan right now.
I like what he did with the one headhunter there. Park him right where a 2K turn would land you.
Exactly.
It's a very good idea.
So it looks like he's just going to do a 1 bank, and he's just bumping.
So no stress for Keyan. Nope. No actions.
No actions means no Lando.
This could be dangerous. I don't think Keyan is in the fire arc of the headhunter that K-turned, but Kraken might be able to kill him.
Well, Kraken has 3 attack dice, and he'll give out an action to somebody.
That's true. So Corran did do a 5 forward. Went over the asteroid, but luckily took no damage from it.
And the Falcon's still rearing its ugly head.
Get back into position.
Looks like Lawrence is also in a really good spot to redeploy against the Falcon next turn. I mean, the E-Wing still has a bit of turning around to do, but in the long run, I don't think that's too much of a problem.
Yeah, he's definitely... So I guess range 3 shots. Deciding who to take it on.
Tricky thing with this is you can't, with Han at where he is, it's going to be very difficult to punk an E-Wing. On top of that, range 3 through an asteroid at a headhunter, not the greatest thing ever either.
Well, looks like whoever he shot, he missed. So, Han hitting once and rerolling into one hit still. A little unfortunate. Looks like Keyan will survive with 1 health remaining.
Double damage.
Unless
No,
one of them is a direct
hit.
hit.
That was very lucky.
That was brutal.
That was some unfortunate pulls there.
And Lawrence still has a cluster missile and a homing missile that he can use in a later fight.
He does. So his cluster missile is on 1 health Kraken, so he's gonna have to be careful with that. There he goes, burning his missile from his other just basic headhunter.
Good to get those missiles out of the way. It's always bad when you have, you know, a decent amount of ordnance on a fighter and it goes up in smoke before you get to use it.
He's rolling nicely though. He connected 4 times there as well.
That is very solid.
Some good hits.
Fortunately, he'll have his C-3PO ability because
So we had a misplay here. He rolled too many defense dice. We'll see if he gets called on that. Yep, okay, that's good. Alright, so here we are. We have the first damage points on Han.
now Corey's in a bit of a tricky spot of whether he wants to fire at the headhunters, which has the potential of blocking him and robbing of his actions and basically
being annoying.
Or trying to take out one of the more dangerous fighters. And he won't have that much time to figure out where he's going to go and what he's going to do with that before he's swarmed with these itty bitty fighters.
There's another little bump there, but may not be too big of a deal. Now Lawrence is going to have to be careful with Kraken that he doesn't just get sneezed on and die.
Yeah. But it looks like he's just going no guts, no glory with it.
Hell with it. Put him in there. Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
I can still fight.
I mean, if he just... Unfortunately, he doesn't have very much room to disengage because he's playing on the foremost flank of the board. So you couldn't exactly disengage, but...
Yeah. Oh, and looks like Han is impacting a fighter. So some nice blocking going on there.
Some bumpage, and it kind of means that Kraken's gonna get
Probably going to die.
the full grapes of wrath, but 4 attack die, 3 rolls, no actions though.
No, all he has to do is hit 3 times though, and Kraken's dead.
Oh,
and that was a rough roll.
Kraken lives.
Kraken does. That was terribly unfortunate. He lives to shoot back.
But not with his missiles.
No, unfortunately not. Well, it takes a point. And that's a good idea.
Acquiring a target lock for future turns.
That's very smart. Here we go. We got Corran is taking a little longer than is probably hoped for to turn back around, but even still, I think the headhunters are at this point pulling their weight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Corran for the most part, he's good for a late game dogfighter.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few type of fighters that can actually take on C-3PO R2-D2 Han without having, or fought Han without having to worry too much about it, because he can get those 2 rounds of the 2 rounds of shooting in that one turn.
Yeah, Corran is very nice for last hitting, for mop up.
On top of that, he has just as much ability to attrition with the focus getting turned into shields at the end of the phase.
Yeah, it is a very nice droid. We don't see him very often, but
it's very tricky to work with him, and a lot of people will pick R2-D2, that 1 extra point. You can just do green maneuvers. But and on the E-wing, you don't normally see a lot of those droids, especially with the droid that can give you the target lock and boost. On a fighter that has access to advanced sensors.
Yeah, it's some nice insurance.
So here we have Han roaming around the asteroids.
Yep.
Hopefully he'll be able to pick off these fighters before they get too much of a chance to re-engage with him.
Yeah, smart Safe bet says Corran is probably, depending on what Cory does with Han next turn, Corran should be able to shoot at him. Now again, that'll be range 3, but and Cracken goes down.
It's expected.
You can't get that lucky twice. But I think he did his job.
Yeah, he action economy for the fighters made it a lot easier for the other Z95s to get in and finish the job. Now it really comes down to whether or not Lawrence can engage the Falcon with more than one fighter at a time. If he's able to do that, then he should be able to take out Han.
It looks like he's going to try to get Corran and a Bandit onto Han this turn.
If Lawrence goes in one at a time with these fighters, he's going to lose them.
He's still going to, yeah. He's sitting in a nice spot, but if he piecemeals it, he's not going to win.
Well, they are your dogs.
So he's setting up a nice little crossfire. Han says, "Hell with it, I'm flying right into the teeth of it.
Yeah.
Let's go."
Never tell me the odds. So now he's playing more defensively. He's using his Millennium Falcon upgrade to give himself a bait token.
Yeah. Just gonna try to stay alive.
Doesn't have to worry about homing missiles being in play anymore, so he can safely do that action.
At this point, just burn Corran as fast as he can.
No, I'm not sure yet.
But if he's using his actions defensively, he is losing a lot of his attack potential, and relying on that pilot ability to re-roll into decent rolls.
Yeah, and while the pilot ability is nice, you're mulliganing.
Yeah.
One shield on number 1.
And for the most part, Lawrence can just take one hit and not worry too much about it, because then he can just regenerate that shield afterwards.
It looks like Cory actually shot at a headhunter. Interesting target choice.
Well, it's easier to take him down.
It's true.
Also, Asteroid might have been put into play there.
Yeah, it looks like they may be shooting through it. Got some poke going on here from the headhunters. And we got damage through onto the Falcon's hull.
No, that damage needs to be consistent, or else R2-D2 is going to just get those shields back up.
And it looks like Lawrence is going to be using Cracken's pilot ability this turn. Try to get some damage through. And gets 2 more cards. Oh, one of them's a crit. Deadly.
Very brutal.
And he's risking the R2. He gets his shield back and doesn't suffer the ill effects by the looks of it.
Yeah, R2-D2 and C-3PO together make a very solid team.
It is. It's very durable. But
You really have to apply the pressure, and I think that's what Cory was hoping for, was that he would be able to thin them out enough that, or separate them enough that the Falcon could pick them apart piece by piece. But it seems like Lawrence really knows what he's doing. He's really trying to fight the Falcon on his terms, and we'll see which strategy works in the end.
Yeah, he's using the headhunters very nicely as just blocking pieces. Because if he runs into headhunter, well, that headhunter's not getting shot, and the Falcon's losing out on his actions. So he loses defensive or offensive tech.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like Cory's not going to fall for that one again.
No. Well, the Falcon can skirt around the board edges just because of that one hard maneuver.
Yeah.
And this way, I mean, he can just pick apart the one fighter at a time. I mean, it's not to be too bad. Hopefully he didn't lose a fighter in one go. Looks like he just lost his shields. Did he take any damage? He took 1. Oh, he took 2.
Yeah.
He lost a headhunter in one straight go. That is brutal.
Looks like the closest point, just by the angle of the Falcon, looks like he just managed to miss having the closest point go through the asteroid. A little unfortunate there, but...
Well, now he only has 2 fighters left. Lawrence has to regroup with the E-Wing and engage it at the same time.
Corran's reloading this turn.
Why don't you take it because you're at range 6? That's a focus.
Gonna pull a
Other target
acquire a target lock.
with,
Bank on that that range 3 shot protecting him, or just being out of range.
Since he's stressed, I'm just gonna move now.
It's a safe bet that he's probably going to be out of range, just based on the fact that how far away he was originally. And even if he's not, possible obstruction with the asteroid there.
Yeah, that would very likely be.
Have an attack. I'm gonna do this.
But now Corran's regrouped with the headhunter, so he can engage him with that.
He's regrouped and reloaded. So a fairly quick turn, but that's what'll happen in the late game when you're jockeying for position.
Oh yeah, race to the finish kind of thing.
It looks like Lawrence is anticipating the Falcon going fairly quick.
Well, I think he's betting on the fact that Cory doesn't want to get in another chicken run with him.
Yeah.
Because if he goes straight at Lawrence, then Lawrence has the opportunity to block him again, and that's not something I don't think he wants.
No.
And then Lawrence would be able to K-turn behind him and just stay on him.
He's barrel rolling out of the way that asteroid. Doesn't want to run over it next turn.
With the fire control systems always being in play, he doesn't have to worry too much about it. It looks like Lawrence has perfectly anticipated what Cory was going to do.
Yeah. So he will be shooting at... Corran will be shooting at the Falcon through an asteroid. But... it looks like he's just out of range 1.
Corran's also in a good place to not use his ability this turn.
Yeah, you don't always have to. Han shooting at the headhunter, trying to kill the escorting fighters. Looks like he will be burning focus, take no damage.
This is now where she needs to get.
Solid choice. He's more interested in getting that putt shot off than anything else.
Looks like it's he's in range 2, so some good news. Yeah, he is in range 2. So no 3 defense dice Falcon. Very nice roll. 3 potential damage.
One? Shield, so I hit with the
Looks like he may not have been through the asteroid.
Immediately roll 1 attack dice.
Oh, and that was a minor explosion.
Which took effect.
Oh, we gotta count the damage.
Okay.
He's not dead yet. But dear God, is he ever close.
And it looks like he's going to risk...
Well, he's just got the headhunter shooting. Oh, he gets another crit through. And receives a stress for it.
That is brutal.
And he is going to Corran Horn.
He just wants to seal the deal.
Yeah, he's got...
double tap.
he's got his eye on the prize.
And that's game.
Oh, focus.
That's
Right,
it.
You gotta do that?
Or
Okay.
But here's
Not?
where the funny thing comes.
they confused us.
R2.
They looks like they shook too early.
I got.
Ah, they confused everybody. He got a shield back with R2. Got our hopes up, guys. Alright, so we've got Corran is not shooting and did not quite manage to confirm the kill on the Falcon. Oh, he's flying. That's unfortunate.
Fly through an asteroid, but potential blockage, especially since the Falcon's stressed. So I think he was going to fly through an asteroid no matter what he did.
Where are you going, Horn?
He's got, let's see, point of damage. So loses the shield, but not too bad.
And it looks like the E-Wing is again in a really good spot to just be annoying. Because he's double tapped. He doesn't have to worry too much about shooting.
Just wants to stay alive.
And there's some bumpage. He gets rid of the stress, which is good. But
Range 1
he
Horn.
doesn't have an action.
So 4 versus 3 here. See, Corran should be able to come out of this without too much of a problem.
So he's re-rolling. 3 hits.
And it looks like he is okay.
And it does happen.
Very good.
Everything attacks.
That 3 agility on the E-wing is,
Oh, you've got the game.
man, that gets work done.
The E-wing is very expensive for a lot of people's tastes, but it does what it does well.
For what you get out of it, yeah, I would definitely agree.
And it has 2 amazing pilots. I mean, it has the synergy with the bot. It has the just pure damage potential with Corran Horn. And you really can't go wrong with their upgrades. I mean, you
No.
can keep them cheap, or you can deck them out a bit, and both can be really powerful.
It looks like Cory was anticipating the K-turn here.
So he bumps into Corran, and he's firing at the headhunter.
That's a little unfortunate.
Oh, I mean, he wants to be firing at Corran.
Oh,
That's what he really wants to be doing. At that range, with no actions?
yeah. The Han is just hurt so much that if Corran gets to sneeze on it, he's probably dying.
So there goes the other headhunter.
Oh, I rolled 2 focus.
So yeah, it's Corran versus Han.
This is interesting, and Corran is stressed, so Cory has at least 1 guaranteed turn of shooting at him before Corran can try to re-engage. He's going to have to play very defensively here. Just keep him alive.
Yeah, Corran's defensive tech will help him out a bit, but I mean, from the looks of it, there's going to be 2 or 3 rounds before the E-wing will be able to shoot.
I want to say
Yeah,
yes.
he could potentially K-turn next turn and just deal with the not having focus to defend himself.
But at the same time, he has to, whenever he goes to engage the Falcon, he has to double tap in order to get full effectiveness. I mean, if he throws 3 attack dice, the Falcon can, with the fact that he has a shield backup, you have to hit all 3 times.
Re-rolling into 1, misses Keyan, or sorry, not Keyan, misses Corran.
So it looks like they're handshaking a bunch just to confuse the hell out of us.
Yeah, he's going. Okay, so he's going for the K-turn. Now again, the safe thing here is probably not. I don't know if you'd want to double tap.
Well, see what you get, right? If you have the 3 attack dice and you blow through the shields, great.
He's at range 3, so Corran is sitting on 4 defense dice. Which is very nice. Looks he's alright.
Alright, we'll fire back.
So he'll be attacking Han back.
Target lock. I don't think I can actually kill this thing.
Use your basically free target lock.
Oh, absolutely.
One hole left.
Such a nice ability.
I don't think I had a chance when you. I'm gonna call one. When you blew up my okay. Call one. Yeah.
So here he is, even for all of Han's durableness.
So he used the
He's 3PO.
the Falcon and through 3PO, and he rolled fairly well on the defense dice.
Rolled 1.
So I would double tap now, knowing that the token's gone and he's used C3PO.
Got two potentials and 2 damage. And that's it.
For reals
There we
this
go.
time.
We weren't joking that time.
Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe.
We are the Northern Gaming Network. You can find us on Facebook under that name.
Or northerngamingnetwork.com. You can also follow us at Twitter at NorthGameNet. Be sure to tune in next week. I will be playing a new list versus Double Falcon. I think it'll be a hell of a show, so don't miss it.
As always, thanks for watching, guys.